Are you all ready for the big day? It's pretty exciting, isn't it? You look really good in that suit as well. You look as though you were made for it. I sometimes wish that I had more of a reason to dress up, but working remotely all the time means that I don't have to. I go to actually meet with clients in person less and less these days. It's good in some ways, but it's bad in others. Still, it might have been nice to have some excuse to wear a suit every now and again.
Hey, thanks. But I am not even so sure about the outfit. I mean, in the mirror it looks okay, but I feel a little weird wearing it. I decided that I didn't want to wear skirts or anything, but this pantsuit doesn't seem to be me at all. Maybe I should change after all. I still have enough time to do it as well. I don't want anything to go wrong today, and if I am feeling insecure, then I might not be able to speak confidently.
If you ask me, I think that you should just leave it as it is. You might feel a little weird at the moment because you don't usually wear these kinds of clothes, right? But if you change your mind now and then go to the office, I think you will feel regret again once you get there and wish that you hadn't changed at all. You can see how you feel at the end of the day, and if you really did not like wearing what you have on now, then you can make sure to wear something different going forwards. But it won't make a difference for just one day, even if this is technically the first day that you are in charge of shipping solutions.
But it might make a difference. What if the other managers in that don't take me seriously? They all know me as my dad's daughter. And they might think that I don't deserve to be the CEO just because he passed away a little while ago. I want to make sure that I am confident and strong so that they listen to me and also can be confident in my leadership abilities. I am going to do my best for this company.
I think you're just overthinking it too much. You might have become CEO after your dad, but it wasn't just overnight. You used to work there with all of these same people as your dad was training you up. And there has even been a 6-month handover period where some of the more senior staff were in charge of the decisions of the company while you got more integrated into the leadership structure. They saw how effective you were during the transition phase, and I am sure that it will all be smooth from now on. You also know the company well, don't you?
Yeah, I think I do. But there's always more that I could learn and always more to find out about. I can't just remember everything off by heart. There are too many clients and contracts and routes for me to get my head around.
And you don't need to memorize all of them. Nobody can do something like that. That's the whole point of having a team, to spread out some of the responsibility and the tasks. As long as you have the overall picture and can delegate well, you will be fine. You just need to be a little bit more confident in your own abilities. Don't put yourself down about every little thing. I know that you will do just fine.
You know what? You're right. How am I supposed to get people to think that I am strong and confident when I am here second-guessing myself and not even sure about what clothes to wear? I know this company just as well as anyone else. And if there is something that I don't know, all I need to do is ask someone to get me a report on it. What am I so scared about? Today is the first day of a period of never-before-seen growth and progress for shipping solutions. And it is going to be my leadership that ushers this period in. That's all there is to it. I can do it. I am not going to doubt myself anymore.
That's the spirit. That's exactly the kind of mindset that you need to have to be successful. It will basically manifest itself, and everything that you said will happen will come true. Now, make sure that you don't work too hard though, okay? I don't want to see you coming home burnt out and unable to do anything.
I won't. I want to make sure I am balanced in everything. Maybe the first little while will be a bit busy because I do still need to get everything under control. But after that, it will relax and quieten down. Anyway, I had better get going then, otherwise I will be late. It won't set a good example if the CEO is late on their first day.
I don't know if anyone can blame the CEO for anything like that. You can say that you were in a meeting or whatever else and nobody would second guess you.
I know that I could technically do that, but that's not the kind of boss that I want to be. I want to do the right thing so that everyone else sees me doing that and tries to act like me as well.
Well, then that's very noble of you to think like that. That's usually not the way that the CEOs of companies do things. For the most part, they just take huge salaries home without doing much at all.
Remember though, this is my dad's company. He built it from scratch, so there is more of a reason for me to do well here. If I were a CEO for some other random company though, I would probably be one of those that you just described.
Well, I can't really blame you there. Anyway, you had better get going. Good luck today, and I will see you home later on.
Thanks for believing in me and getting my head straight. Oh my god, today was a complete mess. The whole company is a complete mess these days. Everything just feels like a complete nightmare. I don't know what is going on anymore, but it feels like everything is crumbling around me for no reason.
Wait, really? What's been going on? You haven't mentioned anything bad happening to me before now, but you make it sound like it has been ongoing.
I know. I didn't want to say anything to you because of how sure I was that I would make everything work well. I felt too embarrassed to then have to come home and tell you that everything is getting worse.
You don't have to feel embarrassed in front of me. But tell me, what's going on exactly? Why did things change so suddenly? Did you make any big changes in the company that could have led to things taking a turn for the worse? I don't mean to suggest that this is your fault or anything, but it seems strange for things to start going so badly out of seemingly nowhere.
Not really. I didn't want to rock the boat too much in the first few months of taking the reins, and for the most part, everything was going fine as it was. I didn't do anything except find some new clients and try to broaden the scope of the countries that we deal with when shipping between continents. I don't see how this could have made things so different. Some other people wanted to make bigger changes to some of the operations, but I even told them to hold off on all of that for a while.
Could that have affected things somehow? It might not be the most massive change, but it still sounds like it could have a knock-on effect on other parts of the business. Sometimes it's the little changes that can have a big effect in the end. Unforeseen effects as well.
I think you're partially right. Some of the ships have been getting delayed a lot, and with all the trouble in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, the time taken is getting longer and longer. That means that we're paying more for fuel, paying more for wages, and everything is slowing down across the board. But I can't really control any of that. I don't decide what happens globally, and so I am not sure what I can do to mitigate these negatives right now. If only there wasn't so much conflict going on right now. Everyone knows that peace is good for business.
I don't know about that. I think that really depends on what sort of industry you're in. I don't mean to sound too cynical, but there are a lot of countries and governments that profit off of there being lots of conflict around the world. If there are wars to fight, there are weapons and ammunition to be sold. And those things aren't exactly cheap, you know.
Well, we don't have anything to do with that sort of thing, so peace is definitely better for me. Trade would flow smoother and there wouldn't be such high premiums on shipping insurance.
I know that you have nothing to do with the conflicts. I am just saying this generally. But there is something that I don't quite understand. Why do you have to send ships through the Suez? That doesn't seem like the route that you would have to take. Am I missing something here? Couldn't you take some other routes instead that aren't being affected?
Oh, I don't mean that we're necessarily shipping from home to somewhere else via the Suez, but other companies often use our ships and hire them for their own shipping routes, you know? I mean, that is the main thing that the company does, more or less. Then there is some manufacturing and other ventures on the side as well. So depending on where the origin and destinations of those shipments are, they have to take certain routes. And so much maritime traffic does have to go through the Suez that it's inevitable that some of the ships have to go through there.
Yes, of course. I don't know why I didn't think of that. For some reason, I was thinking that you were mainly shipping things off from the US to Europe. What if you make some changes and have the ships go around, though? Or make it a policy that routes using your ships are not allowed to use the Suez Canal? Is that a possibility?
Theoretically, yes, we could do that, but there wouldn't actually be that much point in it. It would involve making a lot of changes and writing new policies and contracts. But at the same time, the longer way around while avoiding the Suez takes so much longer that the fuel costs would mean that no money is saved and it would still take much longer. So in the end, it would just be a lot of extra work and not save us anything or change the current situation.
I see. Then there really is no point in writing up new policies if that is the case. I guess the only thing you can do is hope that some of these governments sort these problems out sooner rather than later. I don't really have too much faith in that happening quickly, though. Things seem to be getting worse and worse each time I watch or read the news.
I also don't have much faith in it, so I want to try and find some other solutions.
So, are there any other problems then? Just because there are some shipping routes that are taking a long time doesn't mean that everything should be collapsing, right?
It's not just that, though. There are lots of internal problems as well. We have been having lots of resignations at the lower and middle level, and there doesn't seem to be any particular reason for that. Not that we can see, anyway. And the loss in personnel has put more of a strain on everyone else who has been left behind and stayed on. I don't know how to plug these holes. Every spreadsheet that I look at seems to be in the red, and the numbers everywhere are falling fast. It doesn't even make sense why, though. It feels like the money is all being sucked up into a black hole somewhere. I need to find the reason and plug it all up, so to speak. I don't think that a little bit of streamlining will be enough to stem the losses. It won't hurt, but there are bigger things that need to happen to fix these issues.
I'm sorry to hear that. That does sound like quite the bit of trouble you have on your plate. I didn't realize that things were going so poorly for you. Do you have any ideas at all about what you could do to solve some of these issues?
Well, I wanted to actually ask you if you could help me with this.
Me? How am I going to help you sort this out?
What do you mean? You're a business accountant, aren't you? Don't you think that it would be helpful if you took a look at our accounts and tried to get them in order?
I mean, I could do that, but don't you have an accountant already? I am not sure that there is anything that I could do any differently. They must know the business pretty well since they must have been working there for quite some time. If I came in, then it would take me some time to just get accustomed to what is going on. I don't know if I could help make changes fast enough, or if I could really make informed decisions that your current accountant can't make already without me.
I don't know. I feel as though we need some fresh eyes on this. The accountant that we have has only been sending me reports about what is happening, but hasn't been able to tell me why it is happening or where we might be able to make some cuts. I could hire someone completely different, but I trust that you would do the job better than anyone else. I know that you're good at what you do, and we would also be able to talk about everything candidly without there being some kind of barrier to communication, you know?
Well, if you're sure about it, I can try to do something to help for sure. It won't make it weird that you have your husband helping you out.
No, of course not. And don't worry, the company will hire you as a contractor, so you don't have to worry about doing this for free or anything. I don't expect you to do this much work and not get paid. Everything will be above board, and I don't see any problems that could arise from it. Do you have some misgivings that you're not sure about yourself?
Okay, well, that's a relief. It's not the strangest thing in the world for relatives and friends to ask for services for free. I don't see any other issues, really. If you're okay with it, then I can lend a hand and see what I can do.
Fantastic. I was hoping that you would say that.
Well, in that case, I can take a look over the accounts for you. But I am in the middle of a project at the moment with one of my clients, and I won't be done for the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I won't be able to start on your problems until that project has been completed first.
What? 2 weeks? Is there any way that you could put that on hold for a while and then help me first? This is really urgent. I really need help as soon as I can get it. Who knows what will change in 2 weeks? It might get much worse in that time.
I'm afraid not. This is one of my important clients, and I can't just drop a job that has already started. Plus, we don't know how long your stuff is going to take, so I wouldn't even be able to tell them what the scope of the delay is. It would be really bad for my reputation if I were to drop what I am doing right now for an undetermined amount of time. It is much better for both of us if I finish this and then can focus on one thing fully.
Fine. I guess there's nothing you can do about that then. Please try and finish with that as soon as you can, though. I really need your help, and the sooner I can get it, the sooner I might be able to relax a little bit.
I will try my best, but I don't want to rush through anything. In the meanwhile, you should ask your accountant to compile some data together so that I can get started straight away.
What sort of data do you want them to put together for you? Let me know, and then I can get them started on it and make sure that it's ready for you when you're able to help.
For the time being, I will want to have a look at the last 5 years of overseas transactions and tariffs. That's often where there can be big changes as the currency rates drive up prices, and so do new laws put in place by foreign governments. I bet that I will find something there. Try to just hold out and hope that things don't get worse than they are at the moment.
Okay, I will do what I can. I hope that things at least stay roughly as they are right now.
Oliver, where are you right now? What are you doing? Why aren't you at home right now? Tracy? Hi. I am at work right now, actually. Is there something that I can help you with? Are you at the house by any chance? Is that how you know that I am not at home? What do you mean you're at work? I know that you always work from home, and I have just come by, but there is no one around. How can you be at work if you are not in your office? I needed some help from you. Get back here from wherever you are and help me. And I don't want to be kept waiting too long either. I hate waiting for people. Oh, so you really did drop by? Sorry about that then. It's true that I usually work from home, but that is not always the case. And today is one of those cases. What did you need help with? How come you went out of your way to go all the way to our house for that?
Because there is something wrong with my computer, and I know that you would be able to fix it for me. You know about computers, don't you? I see that you're always using them and using numbers on the screen and all the rest of it. Well, I need your help.
Do you know what is wrong with it? I know a few things about computers, but I am hardly an expert. I am a mathematician and an accountant, not someone who deals with computers.
I don't know what is wrong with it. If I knew that, then I wouldn't need your help with it now, would I? Just get yourself back over here and take a look at it yourself. There isn't any way for me to explain what is wrong with it to you.
Sorry, but you will have to wait and put up with the broken computer for a while longer. I am working right now and won't be home until later. Maybe I can drop in at yours on the way home and take a look.
Are you meeting with a client or something? How long is that going to take? It shouldn't take all day, should it?
Actually, Sylvia asked me to help her out with some things that are going on at work and hired me as a contractor.
What? Sylvia hired you? To work at Shipping Solutions? When did that happen? Why would she do that?
Yes, but just on a temporary basis as I try to work out what is going on here. She needed some help with accounts, so that's what I'm in charge of right now. I decided to go in personally so that I have access to everything that they have in the office and just to make it more interactive, so to speak. But if it were a regular client, I would just stay and work from the comfort of my own home.
Why are you getting involved in the company? Who told you that you could do that in the first place? My late husband Frank built that company from the ground up. He dedicated his entire life to it. I don't want you digging around there and trying to ruin it. I don't want you involved at all.
What? I am not trying to ruin anything here, Tracy. I am trying to help. And Sylvia was the one who asked me to help her in the first place. She is the new CEO now, remember? So I think with her permission, I have more than enough right to do what I need to do.
You better keep your hands off of the business that Frank built. If it starts doing poorly, then I know who I will have to blame it on.
Well, actually, it is already not doing very well at all. There seem to be a lot of problems here.
See? What did I tell you? You've only been there for, what? A few days? A week at most? And the business is already doing worse because of it. You need to leave and keep your hands off of it before you make things even worse than they are now.
No, you're misunderstanding what's happening here, Tracy. The business was already facing many issues before I got hired here. In fact, the only reason that I got hired in the first place is because it was going through some issues and they needed someone to fix them. So that's me. I am the fixer, not the one ruining everything.
And you expect me to believe that? The company was in perfect shape before Frank passed away. And then I know that Sylvia was taking the greatest care in managing it after she stepped up into the role of CEO. Now, the only thing that has really changed is that you have inserted yourself into the mix to stir things up. I won't have you run this business into the ground.
Don't worry, Tracy. I am not going to do anything of the sort. I am here to help and sort through some of these numbers that don't make a lot of sense. Once everything is cleared up and set in order, then I will go back to my regular clients. I am only working here temporarily.
Whatever. I don't trust you at all about this. But don't forget about my computer. I still need it to be fixed.
Hey, the weirdest thing happened earlier today. I just forgot to mention it to you. You looked really busy at work and I didn't want to disturb you, but it has been on my mind as well.
Oh, really? Was it something to do with the data that you were looking through? If you find something strange in that, you should come and tell me, and not worry about whether I look busy or not.
Oh, no, that wasn't it. It had nothing to do with the work, so I thought I would leave it until later. Well, it kind of had something to do with the work, I guess.
Okay, so go ahead and spit it out then. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. How can it have nothing to do with work, but also have something to do with it at the same time?
Well, today your mom texted me and was trying to find me to get help with her computer, right?
Yeah, you told me that. That's why you went to her house on the way home, wasn't it? Did you fix it for her? I don't even know why she thought that you would be able to help her. You're not a repairman after all.
I'm not sure either, but in the end, I didn't need to fix anything. It wasn't even broken. She had just forgotten to charge the battery for her laptop and was trying to turn it on without charging it.
Oh my god! How can she be so bad with technology? She is technically the president of the company, you know. It's embarrassing that she can't even charge a laptop properly.
Yeah, well, they gave me a good laugh anyway. My parents used to be like that as well. I mean, they are, and maybe not quite so bad as she is. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. There was something else.
There was something else that happened? Then what is it?
At the same time when your mom messaged to ask me for help with her laptop, I told her that I was working with you because of everything, you know? And then she seemed to be really, really against it. She told me to not get involved in all this sort of stuff. It was really strange to me.
Really? She said that to you? Why? Why would she be against you working for the company?
I don't really know. She just said that Frank had built it from the ground up and that you were in charge now, and that if anything went wrong, it would be my fault.
That's ridiculous! You're there to try and identify the problems so that we can fix them. You're there to help us, for God's sake.
I know that. I tried to tell her that there were some issues that I was trying to assist with, but she didn't want to listen to me at all. As soon as I mentioned that there were problems, she took it as evidence that what she was saying was correct and that I had already started to ruin things there. She seems to think that I am actively trying to ruin the business for some reason, and I have no idea why.
That's pretty weird of her to say things like that, but I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. I just think that she's feeling almost protective of the company because Dad was the one who built it. He only passed away less than a year ago, and Mom probably thinks that this is one thing that he has left behind. She probably just doesn't want to see it do poorly and wants it to be successful because of Dad. I can kind of see the way that she is thinking, but she is going about it pretty weirdly. She shouldn't be accusing you of trying to sabotage anything.
Right, I can also understand why she might want it to be very successful, but the way she is accusing me just makes no sense at all. Like, if you're the CEO and the whole thing is a family company, then why would I want to see it fail? If anything, I would be thinking the same as Tracy and want it to succeed. But is it okay for me to be working for you then? If your mom is so against it and thinks that I am out to sabotage the company, then maybe it is better to hire someone else after all. I don't want this to lead to any problems between the two of you. Or between the three of us, for that matter. It might not be worth my help if all of these other problems are going to start.
Yeah, look, I have no idea what she is thinking in that head of hers. But in any case, don't worry about it and basically just ignore her. You are totally fine to work for me, and I don't know why she would ever have even the slightest problem with that. I was the one who made the decision to hire you, and you're my husband. I know that you're not going to do anything to hurt the business. There were already problems before I even asked you for help. But if she does say something again, then just tell her to talk to me about it instead, and I will sort her out. I don't think she will have much to say in response to that if you send her my way.
Okay, thanks. I will be sure to do that. Sorry if it's adding even more onto your plate. You have enough to worry about as it is. I don't want to be the one giving you more things to worry about.
It's fine. It won't be something that is difficult to deal with. And I don't want you to have to worry about my mom either.
Hey! What did I tell you about staying away from my company? I saw you walking in there again today, even though I told you to stay away from it. What do you think you're doing, huh? Do you really think that you don't have to listen to what I tell you to do? I am your mother-in-law! Tracy, how could you have seen me go inside the company? I won't hide that I am working there and that I have every right to be there. But how could you have seen me there yourself? You never go into the office anymore, do you? And I am sure that there was no one around me on the street at the time. Don't be stupid. I wasn't just looking at you from the street or anything like that. What do you think I am, a stalker? I am not some petty criminal who is going to follow you around. Well, then I am glad to hear that. I wouldn't want to be followed around by anyone, let alone my mother-in-law. I still don't understand how you could know this then if you weren't somehow following me around. Stop being such a smartass. I am still the president of the company. You do know that, right? Yes, but that's just a title, isn't it? Frank wanted you to feel as though you were a part of it with him. What does your title have to do with this now?
It's more than a title! I have the power to decide a lot on how the company will function. But never mind that. What it also gives me is access to all of the CCTV cameras on the premises. I saw you on the laptop that you were so kind to fix for me.
Is that so? Then you might not have been following me around physically, but you have been spying on me via CCTV. And remember, I didn't fix it because it wasn't broken in the first place. You just needed to charge it, and all I did was plug it in.
Shut up! You know what I mean when I say that you fixed it. And I wouldn't call it spying either. Don't make it sound like I am doing something sneaky. I am well within my rights to do this. Anyway, my point still stands. Why were you there when I told you not to go there anymore? Sylvia mentioned that things aren't so good and it's all your fault. I knew that this would happen if you were sticking your nose where it didn't belong. And this just proves me right.
I go there because I have been hired to look through all of the accounts and find where the company is leaking money and where we might be able to save some. That's my job for the moment, and I am going to do it as best as I can. And to do that, it's better for me to be on the premises while I am working. I don't know why you have it in your head that I am going to run this company into the ground on purpose, but this is simply not true. And come to think of it, your president's title comes with quite a large salary, doesn't it? That's really one of the first places that the company could save on some expenses. Since you seem to be so worried about the future of the company, it might not be a bad idea for you to either suspend your salary or reduce it a bit.
What? Why should I do something like that? Who on earth would do that if they were in my place? Frank left that position open for me as a way to make sure that he would be able to look after me financially even in the event that he passed away suddenly. I have every right to that position and to the money that comes along with it. I don't have any intention of giving up what is rightfully mine. And who do you think you are to even suggest such a thing? You have no right to speak to me like that or to tell me to take a pay cut.
I'm just saying that while the company is struggling, it would be best to reduce all the unnecessary expenses as much as possible. And since you don't really do any work for the salary that you get, it wouldn't be a bad idea to reduce it for a while at least. That money could be used for hiring some new staff, as a lot of the lower-level clerks have been leaving. Sylvia says that almost 20 people have left since she took over a little while ago. It might be that we need to offer them a more attractive compensation package to keep up with our competitors, or else we won't be able to keep the staff on board.
It's not my job to worry about the hiring process or how we pay the employees. There's a reason that an HR department exists in the first place. If there needs to be some cost-cutting done, then it can be done elsewhere and not at my expense. I am sure that there are plenty of other ways that are more significant to save money in the long term as well. And the main problem still lies in the fact that the company was running perfectly well and now all of a sudden it is in the red. I know that you have done something. You're there digging around in the accounts and messing with the numbers, aren't you? Or maybe you're purposefully giving Sylvia bad advice so that the company is brought into the ground.
Tracy, please. I am not doing that at all, and I am actually doing the exact opposite and trying to help Sylvia bring the company back to where it was before.
Then how come everything started declining overnight? Why did that happen? That shouldn't happen normally. Even if Frank did pass on, everything that he set up should have kept running more or less the same for a while. Something very fishy must be going on here, and I think, no, I am sure that you are somehow responsible for it.
I am not responsible for it in the least. I'm not sure exactly what the answer to that is, but part of it lies in recent events around the world that have been wreaking huge changes on the industry. And along with those, there has been a massive rise in inflation, but the company hasn't kept up with giving out pay raises. That means that the pay that we are offering doesn't buy even close to the same amount of things as it used to, and the employees are not happy. They have been leaving to join companies that have been trying to keep up with inflation.
Why can't they just be happy with what they have been getting? They must be so spoiled and selfish to think that they can just walk off the job after we have provided for them for so long.
They can't just continue to live off of the same pay, Tracy. Prices are seriously through the roof right now, and if working a full-time job doesn't pay for all the bills, then it's time to find another one. I think that makes a lot of sense from their point of view. And they might not even want to leave. They might like working here, but that doesn't matter if they have a family to look after.
I still think that they should be more loyal to the company and not just run off somewhere else at the drop of a hat. Nobody wants to work at all these days.
They do want to work, Tracy. They just also want to get paid a decent wage for their time and effort. I don't see much wrong with thinking like that. They all have the right to get paid fairly for the work that they do.
And what? You think that Frank wasn't paying them fairly? Is that what you're implying?
That's not exactly what I was trying to say. But things have changed, and as time goes on, salary packages need to change as well.
Then what are you doing to fix it? Aren't you supposed to be the numbers guy?
We're trying to fix the problem right now, but it can't be done in a day or two. We have to make sure that the compensation packages are all adjusted similarly at each level of employment. Then there are contracts to be written up and discussed with existing staff and all the rest of it, and then we can start hiring replacements. It's not a quick or easy process. I wish it were, but it isn't. Then there are a lot of sanctions that the government has been putting on other countries, so we have to be more selective with the routes that we are using to ship. We are no longer able to just trade with everyone and anyone like we were able to 5 or 10 years ago. All of this is coming together to make a whirlwind of problems.
I still don't trust you about this. You can say whatever you like and find other areas to blame, but I can just sense that you're doing something sneaky here. I don't want you working here anymore. I am the president of the company. You have to listen to what I say.
I'm afraid that's not really how it works. I have been hired as a contractor and I have a contract with the company to solve its issues. Please talk to Sylvia about it if you really have a big problem with me working here. But I have a lot to do and I can't waste any more time arguing with you about this. Hey, do you have a second now? I found some really strange things in the accounts. It's not looking good if I understand all of this correctly. And I mean, like, really not good.
What is it? Did you find where we are losing so much money? Is it really that bad?
Yes and no. The answer isn't really all that easy to tell you. This might come as quite a bit of a shock to you.
What do you mean? Then what did you find out from the accounts, if not that?
I'm sorry to say, but it looks like your dad might have been engaged in a lot of shady dealings all around the world.
What? What's that supposed to mean? I don't understand what you're getting at.
There are countless shell companies and dead-end trails that lead to companies that have no addresses and no employees and all that sort of stuff. But despite that, there are transactions on the accounts between us and them, but it is unclear what it is all for. I think there might be some level of money laundering and bribery involved. But who that money is going to or what for, I can't say at all just by looking at the information that I have now.
You can't be serious, right? Are you trying to tell me that my dad was a criminal? That he built this company on backroom deals and broken laws?
Well, that's not exactly what I was trying to say, but there is some truth to it. I don't know if I would call him a criminal exactly, at least not in the full sense of the word. It looks more like he was potentially bribing port staff and people in other positions to speed up their handling of his ships and maybe other things as well. I'm not saying that he was dealing in contraband items or something like that. It doesn't look like he was a smuggler. Maybe just a slightly unscrupulous businessman.
And now what? What about all of these loose ends or whatever that you have found? Can you do something about it?
I think I might be able to, and then there will definitely be a lot of money saved from it as well. Some of their routes aren't even in the books anymore, but it looks like the money is still being sent from our accounts. I don't know why that might be. There could be a problem with this, though. A problem that might actually backfire on us if we try to fix it.
And what kind of problem would that be? How could a problem get worse if we try and fix it?
Well, some of the stuff seems to not be legal. And even if I try to cut these illegal contracts and bribes, someone could always bring it to light since they would prefer to be left on the books. Then it might come to the surface what your dad and the company was doing. If that happens, I don't know what the consequences might be.
We can't have that. Then leave it all. If there's a bit of leakage here and there, it won't make a difference in the big scheme of things. We will need to find other ways to recuperate our losses and bring this business back to what it was before. Thanks for letting me know, but keep looking for another way.
Wait, are you really serious? You're going to just continue with the illegal practices that your dad set up before you?
What other choice is there? Not only might it come to light and ruin the reputation of the company, we might have to pay some fines, and that would really ruin us. And think about my mom. She would be absolutely heartbroken if she found out that Dad might have used criminal means to make this company what it is. You know how much she respected and looked up to him. I can't let her find out about that.
Are you sure? This might continue to make things worse for you.
I am very sure. Find another way that can get us out of this mess.
I can't do that either, then. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you can't? You haven't even tried to do it yet? How can you know that there is no other way?
I mean that I can't work on this anymore now that I know that there have been illegal things going on and that we're not going to be fixing any of it. You will have to find someone else to work with you on this one. I won't say anything and I will keep my mouth shut about it, but I can't work on this project anymore in good conscience.
What? Are you out of your mind? You're my husband! You are supposed to be helping me with this. If you're not going to help, then who the hell will do it?
I'm sorry, but even though we are married, there is an ethical and moral stance that I have to take. I am not okay with working on this anymore. I am sure that you will be able to find someone else to do the job for you. There are plenty of accountants who don't mind fudging the numbers to get the result that they want. To be honest, there are a great deal more accountants like that than those who would be against doing anything sneaky to get some gains.
Oh my god! Then why do you have to be one of the few who is annoyingly self-righteous? If everyone does some number tricks, then why does it matter if you do it too? It can't be that bad if everyone else does it.
It still feels wrong to me, and I refuse to do it. I have never done that before, and I am not going to do it ever.
I can't believe that you're going to leave me in this mess when you told me that you were going to help me sort it out. I didn't expect this from you at all. I thought that you would be ready and willing to help me with anything that needed to be done.
Look, I am sorry, but I didn't know that there were these sorts of transactions on the books here. If there weren't, then of course I would be here to help you until the end. But as it is, I can't in good faith stay and work on this. But listen, we still have the new payment plans written up that need looking over before they are implemented. That is going to be my last thing to do for you here, okay? But that will be quite a big help, I promise.
Whatever. I don't even want to talk to you right now. I can't even tell you how disappointed I am in you. And don't you dare say anything about this to my mom!
I won't. In fact, she will be quite happy herself to learn that I am no longer poking around in the company's affairs.
I know what you were up to when you were working at Shipping Solutions, Oliver. It would be a real shame if the news were to get out about it, don't you think? But there is something that we can make a deal on so that it doesn't happen. What do you say to that? Doesn't that sound good to you?
What are you talking about, Tracy? What was I doing at the company? I told you that I was simply looking at the accounts and trying to find some ways to consolidate revenue and save on expenses. That was all there was to it. And I thought you would have been happy to see me not working there anymore. You were very much against it when I was there and wanted me to leave and not get involved in anything. And now I have left and I'm not involved at all.
I am very happy that you are not there anymore. I always knew that you were up to no good, and unfortunately, it was already too late by the time you were fired for what you did. The deals had been made and the money had already started pouring into unsavory people's wallets and accounts. Oh, how my heart aches just thinking about the damage you and your dishonest ways have done to the reputation of Frank's beloved company.
Tracy, what are you on about here? My dishonest ways? The deals that I had made? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't make any deals in my time there. The only thing that I really had a solid hand in the end was the writing up of a new employee compensation scheme. I didn't have time to do much else. And whatever deals you may be talking about definitely were not in the scope of my contract. And what's this about me getting fired? That's definitely not what happened. I don't know where you were getting this sort of information from.
Oh, Oliver, you stupid, naive man. I know that you were not fired, and I know that you didn't make any shady deals either. That doesn't matter, though. You see, Nobody else knows that you weren't actually involved. And if I want it to be known that you were the one who did all of that, then that's what everyone will think. Do you start to see what I am getting at here? The truth is going to be what I make it.
Are you trying to blackmail me with this? Are you threatening to set me up and frame all of the shady stuff that your husband was doing on me?
Now you're starting to understand me. But I wouldn't say anything like blackmail. Oh God, no. That word really shouldn't be used for something like this. I would just say that I am making a nice suggestion that will be mutually beneficial for the both of us. Isn't that much more pleasant? It has a much nicer ring to it, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter what you call it, it is still the same thing. And hold on a second. How do you even know about all of this? I promised Sylvia not to tell anyone about what I found, and she was very adamant that she wanted to keep you from finding out about any of it. How is it that you know what happened?
Do you really think that I didn't know what was going on the whole time? Do you think that Frank didn't confide in me at all in the decades that he was running the company?
So, you knew about it all along? That explains why you didn't want me poking around in the accounts then. But what's the point of all of it if it's just harming the company in the end? Don't you still want the company to do well?
I don't want it coming to light, of course, if there is another way around it. But getting you to take the blame for it would work out just fine for us as well. The company as a whole can be saved while you take the fall for everything. Just one pesky contractor who thought he could make some quick bucks under the table. What a world we live in these days. Can we really trust no one?
But why would I ever take the fall like that? I still don't understand what is going on. I told Sylvia that I didn't want to work for the company anymore, but I told her that I wouldn't mention it to anyone. So what's even the point of blackmailing me like this?
Now we are coming to the main point of the discussion. What's going to happen is that you're going to get a divorce from Sylvia nice and quickly and quietly, and there will be no court case or anything like that. Got it? And if you don't agree to that, well then you're going to have to take the blame for all of this, and maybe we'll even end up in prison for it. Seems like a pretty easy choice to make, don't you think so?
What? You want me to get a divorce from Sylvia? Why would I ever do that? I am not going to end my marriage just because you are threatening to reveal something that I didn't even do in the first place. This is insane, Tracy. I know you didn't like me working at the company, but we never had problems between us before, did we? Why are you now going to all these lengths to try and force me to divorce Sylvia? Have you even thought about what she would say to all of this?
Oh, of course I have thought about it. Rather, I know exactly what she would say. I mean, the two of us have already spoken at length about the plan, and she is all for it. She would be happier if you just got it over and done with and stopped trying to get answers from me for questions that don't really matter.
What? She knows about this. I don't believe that for a second. We live together and see each other every single day. There hasn't been anything at all that would suggest that she wanted a divorce. I know that you're lying to me, Tracy.
You can think what you want about it, but that doesn't really change the reality of it now, does it? You will see in good time that what I am saying is true. You should really try to understand that sooner rather than later, though. It will make it easier for you in the end when you find out. I'm even doing you a favor by telling you this a little bit in advance, don't you think? Wouldn't it be even more crushing to find this all out from Sylvia without even being the slightest bit prepared for it?
There's nothing that I need to prepare for, thank you very much. That is, except for thinking how I am supposed to tell my wife that her mom is blackmailing me and threatening me unless I file for divorce. What do you think Sylvia would say to that? She would be very upset that you are doing something like this. And she is so swamped with what's going on with the company that this is the last thing that she needs on her plate. She has been trying hard to set the company back on track, and part of the reason is because she wants you to be proud of her and be happy that Frank left the company in her hands. And now look at what's happening. The one person that she has been trying to impress is doing this kind of shady business behind closed doors. I can't imagine that she will be happy. How about you go and tell her and apologize for it? That way it might be better for her. I don't think she will take it well if she hears it from me first. Go on then, Tracy. Do that for your daughter, and maybe I will even look past this whole thing.
Do you think you're doing me a favor with that or something? Who do you think you are to be ordering me around like that? I won't be taking any suggestions from you. No, thank you. Like I said, you will see the truth of my words before long, even if you don't want to believe what I am telling you now. Go and ask Sylvia for yourself what she thinks. You will have to talk to her about this at some point. Whether to blame me and tell her what I have said, or to go through with the divorce. The result will all be the same in the end, though. So, off you go!
Hey, I needed to talk to you about something. Your mom was talking to me today, and she was saying some of the craziest stuff. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing.
Really? What exactly was it that she said to you?
Well, it turns out that she knew all about all the shady stuff that was going on with the company, and that was part of the reason that she hadn't wanted me around before. But more importantly, she was saying that she was going to blame all of that on me and get me sent to prison if I didn't do what she wanted me to. She was blackmailing and threatening me, essentially with stuff that I didn't even do myself. And the craziest thing about the whole situation is that what she was trying to get me to do and use that as leverage for was to divorce you without a fight. Can you believe this nonsense? I told her that she was acting insane and that you would be very disappointed to find out that she was acting like this. I tried to get her to talk to you about it first and apologize to you, but I don't think she will. She was pretty clear that she thought you would actually agree with what she was saying.
Oh, damn it. Why did she have to go and spill the beans to you about the plan so early? I would have preferred to tell you about it myself.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? What plan is this that you're talking about?
Come on, Oliver, don't play dumb. You already know which plan it is that I am talking about.
What? No, I don't. I have no idea. What is this? You're not making any sense, Sylvia. This is the part where you agree with me about how crazy your mom is being and tell me that you're sorry she is acting that way. And then I tell you that it's okay because I know that it has nothing to do with you, but I ask you to talk to her about it anyway, and then we go on with our lives. Right? Right?
I'm sorry, Oliver, but that's not how this is going to happen this time. The plan that I am talking about is basically what my mom said to you. I don't know exactly what she told you at this point, but based on what you said to me, she gave you the gist of it at the very least.
So she was actually telling the truth? You knew about this all and agreed to try and frame me for everything shady that was going on?
It doesn't have to go like that, though. It's not like I want to see you go to prison or take the fall for it or anything. That's just nothing more than a small precaution that we had to take to make sure that you keep your mouth shut and go through with this divorce quietly and quickly. If you do that, then you can walk away from this without any issues at all.
I didn't do anything, though. I was the one who was even against working for the company anymore once I uncovered what had been going on. How can you even think of using something like that against me? There's no chance in a million years that I would stoop to that level, and you know it.
I do know it, but other people don't know that. And it's exactly because you're so against it that I know you wouldn't want any charges of that kind against you. You wouldn't even like for there to be rumors about it, would you? I know that it would kill you to have people think that you were being dishonest.
I just don't understand. What you say is more or less true, but it still doesn't make any sense why you would want to do this. What's up with this whole divorce thing? What's this all about? We have been together for years, and now you not only want a divorce, but you're willing to threaten me and ruin my reputation in order to get one?
As you know, the company isn't doing well at all. It's really on the brink of failure, and maybe it will even take us all with it. But my mom and I might have come up with the solution to the problem. And we're going to test it out. It's our last chance.
But what does that company have to do with our marriage? I don't see any connection there at all.
The plan is that I'm going to divorce you and then marry the son of the CEO of Hypertech. Then they will float some capital for us to save the business with. That's the short version of it anyway. There is a lot more to do than just that, of course.
Are you actually serious about that? You're going to divorce me and marry some random guy just so that this stupid company doesn't go under. I told you that there are probably ways to fix it if you just solved all of the shady accounts that are draining money from it.
It's not a stupid business. This is the one thing that my dad has left behind for my mom and me. It's important. It's his legacy. And it's up to me to make sure that it all works out and isn't tarnished by these backroom deals coming to the surface. I know that you might not understand how this is so important to me, or why it is, but maybe you will start to see it based on how far I am willing to go. I am sorry, Oliver, but I have to do this to save the family business. It's more or less been decided already, and now we just need to get the divorce started and hopefully finished as soon as possible. I wanted to tell you in a more reasonable way, but I didn't expect my mom to go and blab to you about it already. I'm sorry you had to find out in this way.
You wanted to tell me in a more reasonable way? What is that even supposed to mean? How could there be any better way of me finding out? Any way that I could have found out this information would have been horrible. Are you even listening to yourself right now? Do you realize what words are coming out of your mouth?
I know, but what else do you want me to say then? This is how things ended up working out, and there's nothing that I can do to change that. You can get as mad as you want about it, but I know that you will do what I say in the end. I have already contacted a divorce lawyer about getting everything started. I suggest that you get in contact with one as well, and I will get in contact with you in a few days about it all.
What the hell? And do you really think that I am going to play ball with you? Maybe I am just going to go to some commissions and expose all of the bad deals that your dad's company was doing. I wasn't employed at the company at the time that any of that was going on, so there is no way that I will be implicated in what you're trying to frame me for. Do you really think that I am just going to stand here and take this crap from you and your mom?
Yes, Oliver. I do think that you will. I know that you won't go to anyone or talk about any of this. You will get a divorce just as I asked you to do.
And how can you be so sure about it then? I might have even saved some of the files and records of what I found while I was digging around in the accounts. You don't know that I didn't. Where is all of this arrogance coming from, huh? Can you tell me that? Maybe all I need to do is send some files off on an email and not even be implicated by name in anything.
I know that you don't have any copies of anything that you saw because I know what kind of a person you are. You told me that you wouldn't tell anyone about any of it. And you said that you would pretend that you didn't see any of it either as long as you didn't have to work with it anymore. Well, since you said that to me, I know that you always keep your word, and there is no way that you would say anything to anyone, and there is definitely no way that you would have kept copies of some files just in case. I know that you're angry now and want to make a bit of a scene and rage at me and maybe threaten me back like I am doing to you. But I am right, aren't I? I just know that is who you are as a person.
God damn it! I hate that you're so right about this. I can't believe that you are using my own honesty against me in this. You're completely screwing me for almost nothing at all. Why does this business have to come first? Why is it worth throwing our marriage away for?
I told you that you wouldn't really understand it. I said before that it is the one thing that my dad left behind for me and my mom. That is something that you might have understood if you knew what it was like to lose one of your parents and not see them anymore. Then you look for and want to find them in everything. You want any sign that they are still with you somehow. That is what this business means to my mom and me. It's not just a company, a job, money. It's all that is left of Dad.
You have a whole house full of his things? What the hell are you even talking about? This is the most psychotic crap I have ever heard in my life. You're just saying this sort of stuff so that maybe I feel more sorry for you and don't cause more of a scene. You were close with your dad, I know that, but not to the point of doing insane things like this.
You just won't understand, like I said. Both of your parents are still alive. Thank God for that, and it's not the same. I have to go now, Oliver. My lawyer will get in touch with you soon, but make sure to start working on your side of the preparations. We will work out all the details about the house and all of that later. Just get a lawyer and start to think about it.
Go to hell! Don't tell me what to do! Hey, how's it going, bro? I just wanted to give you a big thanks for everything. You've really been a big help with it all. What? Who is this? And what are you talking about? Do I even know you? Oh, how rude of me. You probably don't know me, but I sure do know you. In some way, at least. We have never met before. Okay. Then how is it that I helped you if we have never met? Sorry, are you one of my old clients or something? A client? No. Our relationship is more of a personal one, I would say. My name is Tony, by the way, Oliver. Does that ring any bells at all? Tony? What the hell? No. This means nothing to me. Listen, I don't know who you are or how you got my phone number, but if you have something to say, then come out and say it. I have a lot going on right now, and I don't have time to be wasting with crap like this. Oh, do you really have to be like that? I thought you would be more fun to talk to. Basically, what I wanted to say was that my dad is the CEO of Hypertech. And you know what that means. I am going to be marrying Sylvia pretty soon. I wanted to thank you for being such a good sport and stepping aside so that I could slide in. You're joking. You're the guy? You sound like a complete idiot. Oh, there's no need to get mean just because you lost out to me. We can still be civil about this, don't you think? Why? And what's the point of messaging me like this? Did you really want to gloat about this so badly? Kind of, yeah. I thought it might be fun to rub your face in it a little bit. You're really not as fun as I thought you might be, though. It's a little bit of a shame, really. It's not every day that you get to steal someone's wife from him. You do realize that she doesn't care about you at all, though, right? She is just making a business deal, basically. She doesn't know you or what you're like. I think you can hardly say that you took her from me. But the reality is that you two are getting a divorce, and then I am going to be the one marrying her. The details don't matter to me either way. My dad and she worked out something, and I don't really care what it is. All I care about is that she is a fine-looking woman. And if she isn't marrying me with any feelings involved, then it even means I can get a little extra on the side, don't you think? I don't care about any of this anymore. You can decide all of that on your own. Go to hell and leave me alone already. I'm getting things ready for the divorce that you need me to hurry up with so badly. So it's in your best interest to leave me alone as well. Is that right? Well, in that case, I will let you get back to it. I'm glad that you understand how important it is for you to hurry it up. It wouldn't have been nice for you to try and delay things. I know I probably would have if I were in your situation. But who am I kidding? I would never find myself in your situation in the first place. Shut the hell up and leave me alone about this. You've had your fun already. I'm blocking this number, by the way.
Oliver, we need your help. Nothing worked out as it was supposed to. Please come back to the company and let's work on all of the problems that you found and do it all properly this time around. We can fix this all up together and go back to how it all was before. What do you say?
What the hell? It's been like half a year since we divorced and you remarried, and this is the first thing you message me? Have you lost your mind completely? I guess trying to deal with keeping the company afloat really cooked your brain, didn't it?
Look, I am sorry. Maybe you're right. Working so much and trying so hard to keep everything together really made me start thinking crazy. I was just trying to do whatever I could to save the business, and I lost sight of what was really important to me. But now I see that we should have worked together to fix it and make everything above board. I was just too worried about my mom finding out and being upset at the reality.
But she already knew about it all, and there was no need for you to worry about it in the first place. You could have come back to me and asked for help when you realized that you didn't have to keep it a secret from her anymore. That was the perfect opportunity for you to decide to get it all together and do the right thing. But that wasn't what you decided to do, was it? You decided to do something very, very different.
I know that, but it didn't work and I see that it was a bad idea now. Let's forget about what happened and we can start again from how things were before.
You literally got remarried to some other guy in order to try and prop up your company and left me to do so. This isn't just a matter of pretending that nothing happened and going back to normal.
I know that that is what happened, but I am going to divorce Tony as well. It was a big mistake to ever have done that. My mom had kind of talked to his dad, the CEO, and come up with a plan, but that ended up failing and actually really backfiring on us in the end.
Oh, really? You're going to divorce him now as well? What, did you find some other poor sucker to get married to now and dump all your problems on him?
What do you mean, did I find someone else? I am talking about the two of us getting remarried, of course. I don't mean that I just want you to come back and help me fix some of these problems with the business. When I say that we should go back to normal, I am talking about everything. I want to get married to you again.
Are you actually being serious right now? Is that really how you think things work? You can't just file for divorce and marry someone else for some really stupid reasons, by the way, and then when that doesn't work out, think that you can just come crawling back to me and expect me to just accept everything that you say. I don't know what your exact plan was with Tony and why it all fell through, but that has nothing to do with me. I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. If you want to get divorced from him, then go for it. Do whatever it is that you need to do. But I won't have anything to do with that.
Why not? Don't say things like that. I know that I messed up a little bit, but we have known each other for ages and we really understand each other as well, right? So doesn't that mean that you should be able to look past some of my mistakes and forgive me for them? That's the basis of a good relationship, don't you think? And I think that we did have a pretty good relationship before it ended so abruptly.
Don't try and use that kind of language to force me into something or to make me feel guilty or whatever. You can't talk about understanding and forgiveness in the context of what you did to me. There should be things that people in a relationship forgive each other for, and mistakes are always going to be made. That is the truth, sure. But none of that applies to what you did to me. You dropped me like I was nothing, just at some vague chance to fix the issues that your company was having, even though there were other ways that it could have been done. If you had just done the right thing and decided to clean up the business with me, then none of this would have happened. But instead, you wanted to go the easy route and not put in the work or risk the reputation of the business. Well, the reputation of the business might have remained intact for now, but yours definitely has not. Not in my eyes, anyway. So if you were only going to divorce Tony because you thought that I might say yes to getting married to you again, you can forget about it and just stay with him.
That's not at all why I even want to get a divorce from him. There was so much that went wrong. Getting married to him was supposed to be one of the requirements for Hypertech to help us sort out some of our financial issues. But in the end, they did almost the exact opposite. I won't get into too many details, but basically they tried to cannibalize our business and merge different parts of the logistics that we had set up into their own company. They made things far worse for us than it even was before. Luckily, though, I noticed what all of the changes that they wanted to make were going to do, and most of them didn't end up happening. Tony tried to strong-arm me into going through with everything, probably under pressure from his dad, but I stood firm and said no. But then he also didn't even take our marriage seriously one bit. I know that it was more of a business transaction than our marriage together was, but I still expected him to take it sort of seriously. I was willing to do that myself. I mean, why not? If we're together on paper, then we might as well be together for real, you know?
I don't know, actually. Don't try and rationalize any of your idiotic decisions to me. I didn't understand them back then, and I sure as hell don't understand them now either.
Oh, come on! It's not that hard a thing to understand. You're just trying to be difficult with me now. Anyway, Tony was then cheating on me all of the time and was never around, and he basically lived his life completely separate from me.
He messaged me and told me that he was going to do that right when you told me that you wanted a divorce. It sounds like he was always thinking of this as a purely sham marriage and never had any intention of treating you as his wife.
Really? He did that? What a scumbag. Well, that's why I decided that we should also get a divorce, because what's the point anymore? The whole thing with Hypertech didn't work out, and now there is no reason to be in this marriage anymore.
That's all very well and good for you. But again, I don't care about any of this. You shouldn't have trusted your mom to make some stupid deal with the CEO of Hypertech on your behalf. I don't know why you didn't see this sort of thing coming. Business people are always willing to do anything to get ahead and aren't afraid to stoop to very low levels to get what they want. I mean, just look at what you were doing in order to do that. And also what your dad was engaging in when he was in charge of the company.
Don't say bad things about my dad. I am sure that he had his reasons to do what he did. And I did too. Although I did end up making mistakes with my decisions. You are right that I probably should not have listened to my mom when she came to me with this plan. But she made it sound like it was a done deal and that there was nothing to worry about. I guess she really thought herself that it was going to work out right as she was envisioning it to be. Even though both she and I should have known to be a little bit more conservative, at least with our projections.
It sounds like you have walked away from all of this having learned a bunch of life lessons, doesn't it? What a great learning experience this has been for you. You should be happy that you are able to reflect so well on all of your mess-ups. Now you're having ruined 2 marriages and probably still losing the company will not have all been just for nothing. I guess there really is a silver lining in every situation. I am just so happy for you. I hope that you can tell that.
Stop being like this! I am coming to you and apologizing for what I did, and I want to make it right again. You don't need to be so sarcastic to me for no reason at all. Does it make you happy to see me like this? I thought you loved me. Shouldn't you want to see me succeed and be doing well and not gloat and kick me while I am down?
I don't understand how you can even come to me with this kind of attitude. You divorced me for no reason, really. You threw away our marriage and relationship, and now you have the nerve to talk to me about how I should be acting and want to see you succeed? What the actual hell is wrong with you? You can't behave in this way and then just expect me to roll over and again go along with what you want me to do and what you expect from me. You and your mom completely lost your minds when it came to trying to keep the stupid business afloat. You didn't use your brain or common sense at all. And now you're facing the consequences of those actions. Can you not even see that in the slightest? You had all of this coming. You made this all happen.
I know that. I know that it was my fault. Well, it was probably mainly my mom's fault. I wouldn't have thought of this plan otherwise. But can't you see that I now know that I was in the wrong and want to make things right? Can't you just give me another chance, Oliver? We can fix things and work through it together. I know we can. Tell me what I can do to convince you to give me another chance. I will do anything that you want me to do. I will do whatever it takes to show you that I know that what I did was the wrong thing. Please.
Is that right? You really realize that you were in the wrong this whole time?
Yes, of course I do. I really mean it.
Well, in that case, then maybe there is something that you could do to make me change my mind.
Wait, really? What is it? I told you that I will do anything it takes.
It's not even such a big thing, to be honest. I want your mom to apologize to me about everything that she did, since she is the one who really caused this mess, right? Doesn't it make sense that she should be the one to apologize to me as well?
You're right. I will talk to her and make sure that she does that. I also think that it's her fault for making me think that this entire plan was a good idea when it was actually incredibly stupid. I knew that you would see things from my point of view. Let me go and talk to her, and then she should message you soon after. Thanks for agreeing to give me another chance.
I didn't quite agree to anything yet. Let's not talk about that until after your mom apologizes to me.
Of course, of course. I will go and talk to her right now.
Oliver! Hello. Sylvia spoke to me about what you and her discussed. Really? And what exactly was that, Tracy? She told me that I need to apologize to you for what happened between the two of you. And here I am, I guess. I'm sorry that I came up with that plan and tried to split up you and Sylvia. That was wrong of me, and I shouldn't have done it. What do you mean, tried? You didn't just try. You most definitely succeeded in doing that. We're divorced and she has married someone else because of you. I don't see how you can call that just trying. Okay, fine. I did split the two of you up, but I was only thinking of the good of the family business. It wasn't done because of any spite towards you or anything like that. There.
I have apologized now, so you and Sylvia can make up and get back together now.
Do you really think that is a reasonable apology? You don't even sound like you think that you did the wrong thing. You're just making excuses and justifications for yourself even now. I don't think that I'm going to accept your apology, Tracy. That wasn't even close to being good enough. You should try again.
What? Who the hell do you think you are? You can't make me say that again. I already apologized, and if you don't think that's good enough, then too bad. That's all you're going to get from me.
Oh, is that so? Now, isn't that a shame? I guess you can go and tell Sylvia that we're not going to give it another shot then. I'm sure that she will understand and not blame you anymore, right?
Why, you... Fine. Oliver, I am very sorry about what happened. It was all my fault, and I shouldn't have tried to butt into your and Sylvia's relationship. The business should have been kept very separate from that, and the results of what I did ended up being very bad. Please forgive me and Sylvia for it. It was mainly my fault for convincing Sylvia to do what she did, and you should forgive her so that the two of you can start again. Is that what you wanted to hear?
It sure is. Thank you, Tracy. But I will not be accepting your apology. Go tell Sylvia that the two of you can both go to hell for all I care. There is no chance that I would ever want to get back with her and try again. Even the thought of that makes my skin crawl. Go tell her that. Thanks.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? You told her that you would consider getting back together if only I apologized to you.
Exactly. I said that I would consider it. I never promised anything else at all. Now, I considered it a little, but decided against it after all.
You little. You were never planning on doing anything, were you? You just lied about that to make me apologize to you, didn't you? You weren't even thinking about getting back together with her.
Oops, I guess you got me there. No, I was never going to get back with her, and I think that should have been pretty obvious to anyone that's not a complete idiot. After what the two of you did, how could you possibly ever think that I would just happily get back with her? I don't think there is a single person on this planet who would have the same thing happen to them.
I should have known that you would do something like this. Why did I even think to stoop to your level? You disgust me. You should never have been with my daughter anyway.
Well, then you should be happy that I don't want to get back together with her. We won't have to see or talk to each other ever again. Now, make sure you go and tell her what I said.
Oliver, what is going on? I thought you just needed my mom to apologize to you and then you would get back together with me? That's what you told me, isn't it? Why did you lie to me like that? She apologized to you, didn't she? So why are you saying now that there was never even a chance of that happening?
I told you that I would think about it. But of course, I wouldn't actually have ever done that. I told you that what you did was crazy and just so out of this world that there was no room for forgiveness or justification. And I stand by that. I don't know why you would have ever thought that there might even be a 1% chance that I would say yes to your proposal. There was never even the smallest, most minuscule chance of that happening. You made your decision 6 or so months ago, and now you're on your own to deal with the consequences of what you chose. Don't try and drag me back into that mess just because things didn't work out for you as you planned for them. I will never have anything to do with you, your mom, or that stupid business ever again. You can just be happy and consider yourself lucky that I am still going to keep my mouth shut about what shady practices were going on. I am totally washing my hands of it all, and I don't want to be involved in any fuss that arises from those kinds of scandals and legal battles.
No, please, Oliver! Just give me another chance! I promise that I will do anything that you want me to do. I really mean that. Don't leave me now.
If you're willing to do anything, then all I want is for you to leave me the hell alone. We're done for good, and I don't want anything more to do with you. We're broken up, divorced, and that's how it is going to stay. You were the one that brought this on, and now you have to deal with that reality. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself, and your mom while you're at it as well. Goodbye, Sylvia.
Oliver, don't do this. Please, let's just try one more time. I know that things will be able to go back to normal. They will be able to go back to how they used to be. Oliver? Oliver! Please!
Later on, Sylvia did end up going through with her divorce with Tony, even though she was not going to be getting back together with me. It had always been a sham marriage for some other purposes that didn't work out, so there was no point in keeping it going. That said, the divorce was much messier than the one that we went through because Tony made it difficult and tried to mess with the company during the settlement, hoping that he would get a piece of it. In the end, Sylvia was lucky that the marriage had not lasted very long because he ended up having no right to any of her assets, and she with no right to anything that he had in his name. The two of them just wasted extra money fighting each other without any reason and both ended up back at square one anyway. After that, Sylvia tried to fix the problems that the company had on her own and hired other contractors to support her through the process. However, all of the shady things that were going on were exposed, and the company eventually got crushed under the weight of different fines and lawsuits. The relationship between Sylvia and her mother also deteriorated after the whole thing with trying to get back together with me. Sylvia started to blame her mother more and more, while Tracy refused to really take any responsibility for what happened. They now don't talk to each other at all and have become entirely estranged from one another. Since Tracy was getting a salary from the business as her only income, when it went under and got liquidated, she lost that and now struggles to make ends meet. As for Sylvia, she tried to get back into business on her own, but with her background, she was unable to secure any loans or financing and failed to get the funds together to move forward with anything. That isn't too much of a surprise considering what had happened. What kind of bank would want to trust her with their money with that sort of track record? Even though she was not the one who put all the shady practices into place, she was still the last CEO and was left holding the proverbial bag. She also struggled to find a job for other companies in her field, and last I heard, she was working a simple retail job that didn't require any of the expertise or qualifications that she possessed. As for me, I moved out of the house that the two of us had been living in together and now live in a smaller apartment with just enough room for me and with a personal office that I can use for my work. All of my professional endeavors continue to run along fairly smoothly, and I am happy with how things are going. I never imagined that my marriage would come to such a sudden end, but at least I have no regrets since I know that it was completely out of my hands. If it had failed due to something that I had done or said to Sylvia, then I am sure that I would still be thinking about it and what I could have done differently to this very day. But considering the reasons behind why she wanted the divorce, I know that none of it is my fault. With that being the case, I can look forward to the future and be confident in myself and the outlook for me. I am not rushing to jump back into any sort of relationship for the time being, but will instead continue to just focus on myself and my career in the meantime.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.